The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Zethkar's forearms trembled, his crystalline exoskeleton clicking with nervous energy. The holographic display before him showed the aftermath of what should have been impossible, the remains of a void render scattered across the surface of mining colony Delta 7. Honored counselors, Zethkar began, his voice resonating through the translation matrix. The beast that decimated 3 of our most elite military squadrons is dead. A collective gasp echoed through the chamber. The void render, a nightmarish creature from the galaxy's darkest regions, stood 12 feet tall, possessed regenerative abilities that defied physics, and could tear through starship hulls with its razor-sharp appendages. Its hide was impenetrable to plasma weapons, its reflexes faster than most species' neural processing speeds, and its hunger was legendary. In the 1,000 years since first contact with the species, only 17 had ever been killed, each requiring the coordinated effort of entire fleets. How? Demanded Counselor Vrix, her tentacles writhing with disbelief. Our projections showed it would take at least 4 battlecruisers and acceptable losses of 60% to bring down a single render. Zethkar's mandibles clicked uncertainly. That's where this becomes unusual. The colony reported the creature's arrival 3 standard days ago. They sent out a distress beacon requesting immediate military assistance, but before our forces could arrive... He paused, reviewing his datapad once more, still unable to believe what he was about to say. A single human dealt with the situation. The chamber erupted in confused chatter. Humans, those peculiar bipedal mammals from the Outer Rim territories, were known for their tenacity and unpredictability, but they were still relatively new to galactic society. Their military contributions had been adequate, though they seemed to approach warfare with disturbing enthusiasm. One human, Counselor. Brack's rocky features shifted skeptically. What kind of weapons did they deploy? Antimatter charges? Gravitational disruptors? No, honored Counselor. Zethkar consulted his pad again. According to the colony's security footage and survivor testimonies, the human used a knife. The silence that followed was so complete that the chamber's life support system seemed deafeningly loud. Knife? Vrix's voice barely registered above a whisper. The human identified themselves as Chief Petty Officer Sarah Martinez of the Earth vessel Persistence. They were apparently on shore leave, visiting the colony's recreational facilities. Zethkar's translation matrix struggled with the euphemism. When the void render attacked, most colonists fled to the shelters. The human did not. The holographic display shifted, showing grainy security footage. A figure, distinctly human in its compact, muscular build, stood in a supply depot as something massive crashed through the reinforced walls. The void render's serpentine neck emerged first, its 6 eyes glowing with predatory intelligence, followed by its armored torso and 4 limbs ending in wicked claws. Watch closely, Zethkar narrated. The human's first action upon seeing the creature was peculiar. On screen, Sarah Martinez didn't run. Instead, she tilted her head, studying the beast with the same expression a food critic might use when examining an unfamiliar dish. Then, impossibly, she smiled. The render lunged with lightning speed, fast enough to catch a Thraxian fighter, pilot off guard. But Martinez was already moving, rolling beneath the creature's swipe with fluid grace. As she came up, a blade flashed in her hand, not some exotic energy weapon, but a simple steel knife. The human proceeded to engage the render in close combat, Zethkar continued, his voice hollow with disbelief. They appeared to be studying it. The footage showed Martinez dancing around the creature's attacks, each dodge bringing her incrementally closer. She tested strikes against different parts of its anatomy, seemingly taking notes on which areas yielded better results. When the render's claws raked across her left shoulder, drawing human blood, she simply grunted and adjusted her approach. After approximately 17 minutes of reconnaissance, the human appeared to reach a conclusion. What followed defied every tactical manual in the galactic archives. Martinez feinted left, then dove directly underneath the render's center mass. Her knife found the creature's primary neural junction, a spot so small and well protected that it was considered impossible to target in combat. The void render collapsed instantly. The human then began field dressing the creature. Zethkar continued, his voice growing progressively more strained. They carved specific portions of the render's anatomy with remarkable precision, separating what they termed prime cuts from less desirable sections. The final piece of footage showed Martinez dragging nearly 200 pounds of void render meat toward the colony's main kitchen, whistling what the translation matrix identified as a happy tune. Counselor Brack's rocky features ground together. They butchered it for food. The humans spent the following day preparing and consuming various portions of the creature. According to witnesses, they proclaimed the render's flesh better than Wagyu beef and perfectly marbled. They also noted that the creature's regenerative properties seemed to make the meat particularly tender. But the toxins, Vrix protested. Void render flesh is lethal to 97% of known species. The human experienced what they termed a bit of heartburn and requested something called antacid tablets. The council members exchanged glances that conveyed volumes of unspoken concern. In the span of 3 days, their understanding of both void renders and humans had been fundamentally challenged. Honored counselors, Zethkar concluded, the human has requested permission to establish a hunting preserve on the abandoned moon of Zerion 3, where a small population of void renders was recently discovered. They've submitted a business proposal for something called extreme cuisine tourism, claiming that wealthy humans would pay substantial fees for the opportunity to hunt and cook the most dangerous game in the galaxy. The chamber remained silent as the implications sank in. Somewhere in the galaxy, humans were likely looking at their most feared predators not as unstoppable killing machines, but as exotic menu items. Counselor Vrix finally spoke, her voice barely steady. What did we get ourselves into when we invited them to join the Galactic Council? Outside the chamber's massive viewports, human cargo ships continued their routes through Council space, their crews undoubtedly cataloging every dangerous life form they encountered with an eye toward dinner. Possibilities. The galaxy would never be the same.